My parents' plan was for me to become an accountant and then get married in that order. But being a writer was my dream. Writing is the best way and sometimes the only way I know how to express myself. In school, I looked up to authors such as Mark Twain, Charles Dickens, Oscar Wilde, and Chinua Achebe, most of whom were Western authors. My role models were all men because at school, we were only taught literature by men. I don't know if this was by design or if it was an oversight. I never imagined that a woman could be a writer, but I wanted to be just like these men when I grew up. I was 24 years old when I finished writing my first novel. I'd been writing the novel for about 5 years, and I had to save money to pay for the publication of this book. Because in Cameroon, self-publishing is the only option available to writers. We don't have book publishers. What we have are printing houses where the writer pays for the cost of printing and other related stuff. Writing this book was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. Because at the same time, I had to keep up with my studies at university, stay up nights trying to perfect my craft, and working part-time as a sales agent at a beverage company in order to save money. The pay was not good, by the way, and I had to save up to 1 million francs CFA, which is around 2,000 US dollars. My parents did not always have the means to support me, which is why I learned to be resourceful at a very young age. They did not understand why I was so driven to become a writer either. When my mom came across me writing, she would sit down with me and say, "You and this your writing. No man will want to marry you. Try and be like your mates." I understood why my parents felt that way, why my friends thought that I was strange. They loved me and were only giving me advice based on the way that the environment was or is. They were concerned because writing is an unusual path to follow, especially for a woman in my culture. Regardless, I knew what I wanted, and I wanted to be a writer. I am the sort of person who believes that hard work and determination can get you anywhere in life. I grew up with that mindset. When I had saved up enough money, the first thing I did was to rush to a printing house with a lot of excitement. The manager of the printing house gave me this doubtful look and said, "You wrote a novel? What's it about?" I said, "It's a coming-of-age story exploring the life of a young girl in an all-girl West African boarding school." He said, "Wow, I would love to work with you, but you see, company law does not allow me to enter into contract with a woman without a male representative." I was confused. I said, I said, "I wrote the book, and I have the money to pay for the cost of printing. So what are you talking about?" First of all, there are no laws in Cameroon that prohibit women from representing themselves either in contract or whatever way. There are certainly no rules that state that a woman needs a male representative in order to sign a contract. But this guy was adamant, and he said, "I am sorry, this is just the way that things are done in the printing business." Clearly, they had their own special set of rules. It was not enough that I had written the book and saved the money. I needed a man to sign my contract for me. We argued for a while, and then I got angry, and I left. And I kept saying to myself that if he did not want to work with me, then I was going to find another printing house that was willing to. Having someone else's name on a contract that was supposed to be about my hard work would have taken away my sense of accomplishment. So I pushed on in search of another printing house. I refused to take no for an answer. But 2 months, 4 printing houses, and 4 rejections later, I started to doubt myself. I started to wonder if hard work and determination was actually what it took to get anyone ahead in life. And I felt as if I had overestimated myself. And then one day I confided in a friend of mine. I said to him, this whole thing is giving me a headache. Maybe bringing in a man to sign the contract will be easier for me. He said, before you give up, I know this other printing house that I want you to try. The place he was suggesting was very far from where I was staying at the time. And I was reluctant to go because I knew from experience what the answer was going to be. And I did not think that I had the stamina to withstand another no. But I decided to give it one last try. I had to take a 6-hour bus ride from the northwest region to the central region of Cameroon in order to find this place. I arrived in the morning. It had rained that morning, and the road was wet and slippery as I walked up to the building where the printing house was. When I knocked, I heard someone say, "Come in." I pushed the door open, and sitting behind the desk was a woman. I had gone there expecting to find a man. But when I was taken by surprise when I saw that the proprietor of the place was a woman. Her office looked more like our living room than an actual office. The place smelled like food, and there were 3 little children playing with toys on the floor, and she was yelling and trying to feed them. I immediately started thinking to myself, oh God, she's a woman. Maybe she'll help me. But considering the number of times I've been rejected, my idea of how the world works had shifted in a way that I also stopped myself from hoping too much in case she said no. When I sat down, this woman said to me, "Welcome, my daughter. What can I do for you?" I said, "I wrote a novel and I want to print." She looked at me and said, "You wrote a whole novel by yourself, but you're so young. I would love to work with you, but in order for that to happen, you know that you need a man to handle the contract for you, right?" And then she went on to tell me that her husband had just passed away. That is the reason why she was in charge of the business until her son was mature enough to take over. I was in tears when I said to this woman, I said, "Look, you are a woman like me. You of all people should understand why I am reluctant to have someone else speak for me. This is my dream, and I want my name on my contract." I had hoped to appeal to her emotionally, but she still ended up saying no. So I stood up and I walked to the door. I don't remember a time in my life when I felt more defeated. And in that moment, I was seriously considering giving up for writing for good. I was tired of chasing a dream that clearly wasn't going to happen for me, or at least happen in the way that I wanted it to. And then, when I was about to walk out of the room, this woman said, "Xavier, come back." I came back, and I sat across from her. She gave me this intense look and said, "You remind me so much of my daughter. She is so stubborn." And then she said, "We have never signed a contract with a woman before, but I will make an exception for you." It took me a while to digest her meaning. And when I did, I was filled with all these emotions that made me smile and cry at the same time. I could not believe that it was finally happening. I honestly cannot remember anything the woman said after that. My hands were shaking when she reached into a drawer and brought out a printing contract for me to fill out and sign. I know that my story does not compare to signing a book deal with a known publisher. But for someone like me, considering where I grew up, signing that printing contract was a first big step for me. That woman's decision to go against company rules just to give me a chance when no one else would taught me never to give up, to keep on fighting for my dreams, even when I found myself stuck with no way forward. Her actions taught me that in addition to hard work and determination, that we all need a hand every now and then. My parents still don't get it. But recently, they stumbled across positive reviews of my novel, and they seemed proud. This was 6 years ago, and that woman's son runs a printing house now. And I am happy to say that he now works with male and female writers, and that the rules and traditions are changing. Slowly but surely, more women writers have a chance. Thank you.
Amazing story. Sometimes I will ask God, how do you provide for me according to your riches and glory? God will always provide words that I will use to speak to your conscience, to make you to understand how I feel, my dreams. My dreams are simple. My dream is not like searching to climb to get to the moon. No. My dream is Biafra. I am not ready to exchange Biafra for anything. Never. I appreciate as many that have contributed in my life in one way or the other to push my dream forward. But Biafra come before any relationship, any friendship. I want to appreciate you and to forgive you, Ngozi Ohabeze. Yes, and to wish you happy birthday because I remember that fateful day I say you are going to be the last woman Agaka Akụkọ John is here. And that was to stand. I pray that God will help you, that you might be able to stand, even as a woman, because women, when they are given opportunity, they can do wonders. But that does not change that you have disappointed me. There is a chance for everyone to correct their mistakes. There is a chance for you to correct your mistakes. Because things that I was flying in the social media after Finland Convention make me devastated. The things I saw in Finland make me disappointed. I know everything that happened for a reason. It make me to understand that we still have a long way to go. The long way we have to go is when you look at your brother's face and identify God. When you take away wickedness, selfish interest to set for a dream. Just one dream. United States of Biafra. My dreams remain United States of Biafra. My artworks was to support, to raise funds for Biafra. Yes, but that is not the only dream I have. The dream I have is the release of my leaders, the voice of unity, the voice that make a difference in this planet Earth. Those are my voice. Anybody that can give me this man of caliber is my friend. Any man that can give me Biafra is my friend. Yes, as you can see, my cat. This cat never comes to me. It comes only when the Spirit of God invites him to come. I was there painting that fateful day, and the cat came and sit on my feet. It make me to understand that God loves me. It gives me comfort. He was looking at me painting. My dream was to support Biafra with many flags as possible. But because of people that have selfish interests, people that don't like progress, people that preach progress, but they don't know what progress is, they stood and begin to dig holes, waiting for Judy to fall inside. Yes, I want to tell them this fateful day that Biafra come before any dream. Biafra come before anything. Yes, may God help us. May God help us to understand that our dream is bigger than our selfish interests. Yes. Happy birthday once again, the princess of Biafra. Yes, you are a princess of Biafra land. May God compare you and others to do the right thing. The only thing I desire is a united house. Nothing else, nothing more. I am not searching for somebody that is going to give me fake love. No. When you say you love me, you identify that love. You prove it that you love me. But there's something I want to say in addition of this. Ngozi Ohabeze has been a mother to me all while. She has been there for me always. When I was not having anybody to talk to, she was there for me. Thank you for all those times you have been there for me. The first flag ever, the first dragon ever. It was like a magic during the fundraising of the dragon. You see the glory of God moving around everywhere. The social media was like on fire. But there's something about this dragon. They refused me to put my signature. That is the reason why I identify myself in the story of this beautiful, amazing girl.